This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. Aquarius. This is scary what's coming out now. I don't know what
this is government-sanctioned warfare against entire people groups. Watch this.
That's the guy. That's the guy who just totally ignored us. And
but a book that helps us understand what will happen in the last days, that will transform a country like the United States of America from a country of freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How could America go from that
the pastor,
to a country where people could actually be tortured?
Who believes that the world is 6,000
where people could actually be mistreated, mishandled, not because they did anything wrong, but simply because of who they are.
Dr. Mindbender.
Or even worse, who we think they are.
So who do you think I was? I think he was hired because he's a yes man. No, he's a yes man. He just rubber stamps things. He's never there. He's never answered a single letter, a single phone call, a single email. Never been in his office, and he just rubber stamps it. He goes, here's a rubber stamp, and the guy's somewhere else in Riverside, and they said, hey, we need some trash. We got to dump. It's highly toxic.
Remove the protection of your frontal lobe, and the devil has complete full access. Not the denser conscious, sometimes.
No.
Music bypasses the frontal lobe.
She's really skinny.
The ears are way back here. Your frontal lobe is way up here. It's your temporal lobe. God to reach people intellectually. That's why Jesus so many times stopped people in what they were doing.
I can't believe this guy's website. I need a copy of this entire website thing where he's got the brainwashing.
Please join with me in welcoming to the podium Dr. Eric Walsh.
Now, how can the city council with a straight face how can the city council maintain a straight face while this guy's talking? And he's the head of the health department.
Morning,
and they're all maintaining a straight face.
You guys Mayor, for having me here today. Enjoyed talking with you guys. I also want to thank a group that often doesn't get thanked. I know my colleagues on the executive team.
It's not a crime to be fake or look fake.
I know it sounds funny, but these are very hardworking people.
I need things that are in the California Penal Code that say
also want to recognize the city council.
Effing thing to do.
I want to say that the city council has actually helped.
If you do that, then you get this.
Really strengthen my belief.
And then it tells you what you get, and then bad.
Watching how they work together to make things happen.
It's not good to poison people. It's not good to fucking cover up this thing and then use it as an ongoing enterprise, criminal enterprise.
Well, for all the hard work they did. With that said, we're gonna get into our talk, and I was given this topic, prescription for a healthy city, but I like the topic because I want to take us somewhere with this. And I'm going to start off in the book of Luke, the 19th chapter. Don't worry, this is not a sermon.
Well, I agree. It needs to grow up, and the thing is God, I was just pieced. I had strokes and stuff. I mean, I couldn't even use part of my body, and I'm sitting there typing with a little pencil. Shit, when I couldn't reach the damn things because it was too far away. Because I didn't want to puke on the screen or on the keyboard.
From your eyes.
Anyway, so there, hey.
city whose name literally means.
At that, there's 79 million.
As he looks at the city and he realizes what it's come upon a city like most cities in world history, Jerusalem really is no different, except that it is a holy city by three of the major religions in the world. He looks down and he recognizes that peace has left the city. It's occupied at this time by the Roman Empire, and Rome eventually is going to fight the uprisings that continue to happen in Jerusalem. And as he looks at the city, he weeps. And there are only 2 times in the Bible that Jesus is recorded to have wept. This is one of them. The other time, of course, is outside of the tomb of Lazarus. He can't stand the pain, and as he, in his prophetic eye, looks down through history and sees all of the suffering that would come to earth, and what makes for a healthy city. Well, there are a lot of things that we do. So Forbes produces a list of healthy cities, and they use some of these things to predict it. And Washington, D.C. has won 2 years in a row, and in 2010, Washington, D.C. dropped down to number 2, and Minneapolis, Minnesota jumped up to number 1. There's a picture here. Some of the things that they say make for a healthy city are open spaces, walking and biking trails, the health of individuals, quality healthcare services, access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Low smoking rates are very important. Low rates of certain diseases. All of these things are factored in, and they come up with these lists, and they say these are the healthiest cities in America. And of course, all of these things are critically important. And in fact, I love this city because the city has most of these things in place. But it's interesting because even though DC wins 2 years in a row and comes up second in the 3rd year, when you look at a train map of the city of Washington, D.C., and some of you have seen me show this before, if you start down here in the southeast corner of the city, you have one of the poorest, most violent neighborhoods in all of the United States of America. Most prosperous neighborhoods in America as you travel out to Maryland. For every mile you travel. In fact, the average suburbanite near the Shady Grove station will live 20 years longer than the typical city dweller around Capitol Heights. And they won the healthiest city 2 years in a row. You see, because when we gauge health, sometimes we focus on things that seem to make a lot of sense, but being truly healthy is so much deeper than what your hemoglobin A1C is. Right. There's a lot more to do with the average blood pressure of a city. And what I really want to bring to you is the next dimension in health. Where do you go to get beyond simply the rigors of numbers? And at the University of Miami in medical school, they taught me that you don't treat numbers, you treat patients. People run up to me all the time. One of the bad things about people knowing I'm a doctor in the city is I literally will be out to eat somewhere and someone will sit next to me and say, you know, my cholesterol was checked and it's 300. So what else might make a healthy city? There are those that argue it's transportation systems. It's the skyline, economic growth, or affluent neighborhoods that such a city is a healthy city. But we know from cities like Los Angeles and New York and Chicago that you can have all of those things and still have sections of town that are devoid of health and of prosperity. In fact, if you look around the world, but we know from cities like Los Angeles and New York and Chicago that you can have all of those things and still have sections of town that are devoid of health and of prosperity. In fact, if you look around the world, cities like Mexico City and Santiago and Chile, New York and Chicago, that you can have all of those things and still have sections of town that are devoid of health and of prosperity. In fact, if you look around the world, cities like Mexico City and Santiago and Chile are cities that have Chicago, that you can have all of those things and still have sections of town that are devoid of health and of prosperity. In fact, if you look around the world, cities like Mexico City and Santiago and Chile are cities that have these incredible who's who in the city.
What's that?
These incredible splits in who. These incredible splits on your body right here.
I can't believe it. Bullshit. Look, he's got, I slowed this down. He's got fucking weird shit.
Music, my God. frontal lobe. It enters the air the way back here. Your frontal lobe is way up here. Your temporal lobe. God to reach intellectual. That's why Jesus so many times stopped people in what they were doing.
The school, the end of the, what is that? The end of the world religion? I think I have it figured out. They have to say that the world. I knew a guy like that. The spin doctor religion, but I knew a guy like that who said that the world was exactly 10,000 years old, coming up on December 2nd or something like that. I met him at Brand, the Brand place, one of the security guards there. And I was like, wow, 10,000 years, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so, what are we basing this on? Well, they have books that go back from day one. And they wrote it all down. It was always written.
It's 8 o'clock.
I guess when mankind became self-aware is when you could say that that's how old they were. Now, I think mankind is about, 2 or 3, 4 days old. Because, still, there's not a lot of people that are that aware. So that's just my take. But anyway, people who say that they have 6,000 years, or whatever, that's when it was, they all believe in the same thing. You know what that is?